necessarily reflect the opinions of the staff, management, ownership of the station. Jay and Janine are expressing their own opinions, and such is not a substitute for psychological or mental health advice. If you are experiencing an emergency, please hang up and call 911.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Momentum Mindset Show, where we're talking everything personal development, coaching, health, and the law. I'm your host, Jay, here with co-host Janine.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Please join us on Facebook, where we can be found at the Momentum Mindset Show. And if you want to call in and be part of the show, we would love to hear from you. It's 888-565-1470. And if being on live radio is not your thing, no problem. Send us your comments and we will interact with you on Facebook.
Let's create some momentum.
And welcome to the Momentum Mindset Show. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm your host, Jay Farrow.
And I am your co-host, Janine Davis. And welcome, everybody, to Friday's Momentum Mindset Fridays.
Mindset Show. So I wanted to just take a second to talk about what is the Momentum Mindset Show? What do we do here? And really, what we're two entrepreneurs. We're creating creating a space to talk about what comes up at when you're going after the life of your dreams. We've both made respective commitments to ourselves first, and then to our businesses and our friends and other things that we're up to. And we decided to go after it. And that means leaving the world behind that you once knew and going after it. Now, there's a certain energy created about writing down your goal and getting excited about it, something that you really, really want. And then starting out on that journey, the first, couple of days are pretty cool. And then after that, things come up. I analogize this to, and I brought this up to my girlfriend over the weekend, or actually a couple days ago. There's a trail outside of Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, Gatlinburg, called the Chimney Trail. And anybody's ever been there, and better still, if you've ever read the brochure to this trail, it says it's a medium trail. But you get about, 200-300 yards into this trail, and you can make a left or a right, and it says that, to the right is to the chimney tops, and it's 2 miles away. It's only a 2-mile trail.
Right.
And the thing that they don't tell you, though, is that it's 2 miles that is basically straight up. But you don't know that, and your first time that you take the trail. But you've seen. You can see the pictures of when you get to the top what it looks like. But the thing about the trail is that it's in the middle of the forest. Mm-hmm. The whole thing, except the last 700 feet, which is actual rock climbing, like legit rock climbing. Like there's a spot where you actually have to cross over something. It's like you look down, it's like 1,200 feet.
Oh my God. Okay.
And so there's these twists and turns, though. So sometimes you think you're getting there, and you feel really good about it because it kind of flattens out for a couple of feet. And then you turn the corner, and then it's straight up again.
Oh my God!
And then you're looking, and your lungs are going in and out, and you didn't pack well because it said it was a medium trail for like 2 miles.
And 2 miles, you thought no brainer.
All right, but you see this, and it's not just one of these twists and turns. It's like there's one, and then there's another one, and every time that you think that you're through. You look up and it's like another thing, and then there's a couple of passes at the very end, and it's that experience over and over and over again.
Right.
And that's kind of like what this is like. It's like going after that world that you want to get to this top of this mountain, and you think that you're getting someplace, and you think that you've achieved something, and then all of a sudden it's like, first of all,
wall and straight
even
up.
when you start out, though, you don't recognize what it's like. To go actually after that dream of being on top of that mountain. And now, like symbolically, when you decided to go after a different life, one that you really enjoy or want to live in, I mean, this is what the show is about, is how do you keep putting those steps forward
right.
when all you see in front of you is a bunch of rocks, a grade that goes up almost 45 degrees, and there's no end in sight.
Right. So I would like you to answer what keeps you going in that. And then I would like to, share with people who are listening what keeps me going, because it's always going to be something different for everybody. So what do you think it is for you?
This week, anger.
Right. So we've discussed on the show that anger is your drug of choice.
Well, it's but here's where I'm at today. And so this is like our weekly check-in. So I had some medical tests this week. And I have cirrhosis, or I thought that I had it, right?
Right.
And I had heard stories about this, about first of all how deadly it is, that it's a life sentence, basically,
Right.
when you get it, and then when I was diagnosed with this, I don't know, back in 2008, and I didn't do anything to correct any of the nutritional habits that I had for about 8 years. I continued to get sicker and sicker and sicker until, I was in this hospital bed in November of 2016. They told me I had like 3 to 6 months to live. And I was like,
Right.
I was like, screw you. I'm not going out like this, and I was like going to show you. I was going to show the doctors. I was going to show my parents. I was going to show everybody that counted me out that I wasn't going to, you don't count Jay Farrow out, period. End of story. Okay.
Right.
I had a big chip on my shoulder. I always have had this chip on my shoulder since I was a little kid, and I got messed with a bit, and so I got some test results back. I didn't like at all. Because here I was for the last 3 years.
So say a little more, Jay, because we want people to know that you are actually healthy and alive and kicking. So we don't want to intimate that.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know what to believe. I don't. I said what I want is to be the person that 100% reversed the symptoms of cirrhosis. Like anything having to do with liver scarring and anything else like that is erased. And I don't know how you did it, but you are the medical miracle of all medical miracles. And we want to study you, period, end of story,
Right.
And I want to just say, basically, give you the proverbial middle finger and just, because I did it. So everything that you said that I couldn't do, I did. Whatever that is my motivation. It's not even just motivation. Forget about motivation. That's my drive. Okay, is that I'm different than whatever else it is.
Okay.
So I got some news about one of my tests, and let's just say that I was like on a scale of 1 to 10, like the 10 of the worst of the worst.
Okay.
Of what they said that my liver could look like. Now, no one's ever seen it. No one's ever.
Wait, I'm sorry. We have a caller.
Okay.
Kim.
Hey, Kim.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi. Welcome
How
to
you
the
guys
show.
doing?
Good. Nice to hear from you.
We're good. We've missed you.
Yeah.
How are you?
I know. I'm doing great. Doing good.
That's
No
good to
complaints.
hear. That's good to hear.
Yes.
Kim, is there anything in particular you want to share with us today?
I'm calling because I want to start the phone live and get people calling.
See, that's just awesome.
Yes, that is the spirit.
Yes. They have to start calling.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And wish you a happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, thank you.
Aw, thank you, Kim. We wish you the same, darling.
Kim, I was, but we're talking about the beginning of the show about what we're doing here, and that you've been a part of this from almost day one, and
Yeah, you have.
I continue to see you post the things on Facebook, and your journey is quite remarkable, and I'm just honored to have you have shared with me, the things that you've gone through, and what you do on a daily basis to push through. I acknowledge you.
Thank you.
It's so nice to hear from you also, and happy Thanksgiving to you. And
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim, for giving us
I
good Friday
appreciate it.
juju.
I appreciate it so much. And you guys always make my Friday. Always.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Nice
Kim.
to watch. Nice. I learn a lot from you both. And the journey goes on.
It goes on.
It sure does.
And give it to God, and tomorrow's a new day.
Amen. Amen.
Thanks.
It sure is.
Thanks,
Right.
Kim.
Thank you, Kim. We appreciate you calling in. And for anyone who is listening who would like to share thoughts, ideas, opinions, whatever it is that's on your heart, please give us a call, 888-565-1470. Jay, I want to give you the opportunity to finish your thought.
Oh, so So anyway, I got this medical news that I was like that it whatever it looks like, it was called a fiber scan or something like that. It's like it looks like the worst of the worst or something like that. I still don't understand it. Now, my liver is like fully functional. That's what they said. I don't know what that means, but that's not what I want. That's not what I want.
Right. So tell us what you want.
I want to have like this thing that where it's like we don't know what happened here, okay, but you basically have what you were born with. You know, basically the healthiest looking, most attractive, liver that they've ever seen. You know,
most attractive.
So
okay.
Now, here's what I was really pissed about. Okay, I was like this. I looked up and I seemed like I've gotten to this point where they're like, okay, it was a medical miracle to do what you did, and I'm like, I don't care. I really don't care what you just said. I mean, the fact that I have a fully functional liver, I don't care. That doesn't make a difference to me. I want to hear what I want to hear. I want what I want. So what I felt like was this thing where I was looking up the mountain again, and all of a sudden I was looking up those rocks, and I was looking up the 45-degree angle, and,
right.
and here I am in the middle of the forest again, because I was thinking to that point that everything was actually completely regenerated from what I had heard, okay? I don't want to drive a messed up car. I don't. Not for the rest of my life. And I don't want to, I want to have what I want. So I started talking about like options and start doing research because I believe how the subconscious mind can heal. Number one, I believe that consciousness creates reality. I believe that consciousness is the element that codifies all the quantum field, and I've been learning a lot about quantum physics and what's possible, what's not possible. The things about stem cells are amazing. There's 3D grafting. There's all this kinds of stuff. And I was like, you know what? Why don't you just take out half of it? Just cut out half of it.
Right. I know you're devising your own.
And I'll figure it out. Because there's nothing taking Jay Farrow off this planet, okay? It's just not. And it's not the fact that they're even saying that that's happening in my near future. But I'm not going to listen to people when they say that oh, you're just like this and this is the way it is. It's it's always going to be, because you know what that statement is, that those scars will never go away and your damage will never go away. That's exactly like telling me that there's no way to crawl out of a hole. There's no way for you to ever heal. There's no way for you to ever achieve. There's no way.
Right.
Okay? And when I hear that storyline that you can never do something, I think that's a bunch of nonsense. Period. End of story. And if there's everything, like, you want to get me going.
You're talking to someone who happens to agree with you.
You want to get me going? You want to get me out of my chair at 4 o'clock in the morning? You tell me something's not possible, especially as it relates to me, because I believe that piece about me regenerating what they say is scarred. You can't tell me. You know how symbolic that is to me? Of all the things that you could possibly tell Jay Farrow, and you're going to tell me that you can't heal a scar? Listen, I don't believe it. I don't believe it 1 second. I believe that there's a lot to be learned. Like there's this quote in Hamlet: "There's more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy." Mm-hmm. And that
totally agreed.
There is the only reason why someone said it was impossible. Listen, 500 years ago, everybody knew the earth was flat.
Right. Right.
Everybody knew it, and there was nothing else about it.
Right.
Back in, 1775, everybody thought it was impossible to beat the British. Mm-hmm. Some people had the same conversations with...
Well, there have been a number of impossibilities, too many to go over here,
right,
that have been made possible.
Right. So
the word impossible to me is just, it's nonsense. It's fiction. It doesn't make, it's not any more true than anything else.
Anytime anybody has ever said you can't, it's impossible, my entire life's purpose is to show that something is possible, to show another human being that if they have that coming up for them, that it's impossible, that's because you have a bunch of stories, okay? And don't tell me about math, and don't tell me about science, because every time that they think that they know something... Okay, for instance, like the age of the universe just went down 2 billion years in the last 2 weeks.
Right.
Okay, there are things that we are now knowing, and there's
being discovered daily. Yeah.
There's also the concept in 1984. Mm-hmm. Okay, when Winston was like, 2 + 2 = 4. He's like, no, let me explain to you why 2 + 2 = 5. And let me stick a rat on top of your head to go gnawing at your face, and you'll figure out how 2 + 2 = 5. In other words, anything is possible, including changing someone's mind.
Without a doubt.
And that's really, this whole show is about changing your mindset to show that something is possible. What wasn't yesterday is today. Why? Because you said so.
Right. And you go out and you create it with that intention and with that belief.
Because I said so. Mm-hmm. And there's not a person on this planet that can show me, don't show me studies, don't show me math, don't whatever. I'll create my own math. I'm very good at it. You know, it's basically what my mind is occupied with the other 23 and a half hours of the day when I'm not like, you know, half doing whatever else I'm doing.
Right.
So, I mean, all this stuff, all the times in my mind is like constantly memorizing stuff, counting things, put to the right use, it could be the most effective weapon that I need on my journey to show that it's possible to completely regenerate an organ they said that was going to be completely dysfunctional. So, all I got to say to that, to whoever's out there, who the naysayers, to whatever it is, I mean, that's one of my Everests. It's on my list, and it's going to happen. Why? Because I said so. And if you didn't think so, because 3 years ago, I shouldn't be here because I only had 3 to 6 months on the one that I did have.
Right.
Okay?
So,
but I got to the point, right, where okay, I can maintain this for what it is and be grateful. I am not grateful for.
Okay.
No, I'm not grateful for, because standing still is something that I can't handle, okay?
But can you be grateful and not stand still? That's the real exercise, Jay, because let me tell you something. Like, everything you're saying, I completely believe. But the challenge for you would be above and beyond your liver.
Maybe having no.
Being, or being in a state that is different than anger, a different, more, I'm not going to even say positive, but a different state other than anger, and go for your Everest. Like, what would it be for you? Like, that would be a huge stretch for you. That would be like, and I wonder what would happen biochemically in your body, actually, if you released some of that story about how you need anger to fuel you to get anything. Maybe you do. I don't know. I'm just
right
talking.
Now, no, this is the start. This is the start. Mm-hmm. And once I roll past this point, and I make my plan of attack and I get over, like, the
initial anger.
And the anger is not at anything except for the people like, hey, you really still believe this. You know, you're still holding on to these beliefs, you know? But, I'm a little disappointed. I'm a little disappointed in
fair.
I'm disappointed in what, I don't know, maybe it's the disappointment that it took me to get to this point, to kind of feel this way, to go after my life. But,
so, okay, you've said you're disappointed several times. What are you disappointed in specifically?
Someone said that all life is suffering, and then some people would say that you needed to learn all of this stuff, to be able to have the life of your dreams, So I don't know if I needed to go down that far, to actually get to the point where I needed to rebuild myself up like this,
Maybe, yeah.
But I'm just a hard-headed SOB, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But I have just as much hard-headedness of one way as the other way, I mean, I'm hard-headed about changing my ways in one aspect, but not maybe, going forward. But I'm looking at this mountain now, and I bring it on. But I'm fired up about it. I'm not pleased with that. I'm going to create my team around it, just like I do. I'm going to call my doctor and schedule an appointment. I'm also going to talk to some other people and put a plan in place. Whether that's been here, Sweden, Singapore, Germany. I don't know what it's going to take a look like.
Yeah.
But it's going to require a lot of subconscious work. A lot of subconscious work.
Yeah.
Because I mean, my subconscious mind knows. It already knows how to do this work.
Yeah, sure.
It already knows it. And I'm thinking about, as I'm studying quantum memory, because in every instant, it's 1 to the 44th second. Basically, you can break it down to the smallest piece of measurable time is 1 to the 44th second.
Right.
And every moment, the universe recreates itself If you can imagine like a piece of sewing thing, just sewing together.
Right.
And it's all quantum memory. If you can alter quantum memory, then you can alter whatever you want to do. So I'm not happy right now. But it's like,
well, it's your
I'm
process,
looking at
right?
it like with David Goggins. I'm looking at the accountability mirror. I'm calling it out. It's like, hey, you got this issue. You know, you haven't been smart enough to figure this out yet. In other words, whatever the work that you've done to this point,
Okay.
whatever the work that you've done to this point has been nothing. Okay, it got you another day. So what? It didn't get you your goal, because I thought that I was going to get my goal yesterday.
Got it.
I thought I was going to get my goal yesterday.
Wow.
And I thought they
Okay.
were going to tell me like this news, like we don't know what it is. Yeah, it's still a little bit off, but wow, what it is, but not to hear what I heard yesterday. So I'm looking at
Right.
myself in the mirror. I'm like, whatever you did, waking up at 3:45 in the morning, doing the work that you did, eating the way that you have for the last 3 years, you haven't done anything. You're giving yourself a shot at another day. You haven't bought yourself anything else other than that. And no one's coming for you, period. No one's going to believe you, period. But that's just the way you are. That's the hand you've been dealt. Deal with it. Suck it up and get moving. And that's my attitude right now. And that's what it takes. That for me, that's what it takes, is to get to this level of hurt, of pain, of disappointment, to say no more. And I'm going to go after whatever it is I'm going to go after. And maybe I needed this to do a reset with everything we're doing in our business, because
Sure.
I haven't felt this way for a long time. Since the same guy gave me the same news 3 years ago.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So that's huge. That's absolutely huge that that it hit you in that emotional way, but that, much like 3 years ago, it's setting you on your path. So this is, I had this conversation with somebody today about how even in the darkest of times, I do know that everything is always happening for me. And my work is always to be aware and present to figure out what it is. And I would say the same for you. You heard that news yesterday, very much in service to you, so that you could create the life that you want. Next level.
All right. We're going to take a bit of a break. I like the tangent that I'm on. I'm going to stay on it, but I'll do it after the break.
All righty then.
Farrow Law Firm, standing up to corporate bullies, using innovative, aggressive, and effective strategies to resolve disputes effectively and timely. Contact us at 954-252-9818, online at farrowlawfirm.com, and on Facebook at Farrow Law Firm. We look forward to being of service to you.
You've been listening to the Momentum Mindset Show.
With Jay and Janine, give us a call at 888-565-1470. And now back to the show.
Welcome back to the Momentum Mindset Show, the Friday before Thanksgiving. Next Friday will be Black Friday, and we will be here.
Yes, we're gonna be here.
And we're talking about the show in general, and then I was talking about where I'm at personally. And this is the generator of momentum is different for everybody. The the generator of inspiration, drive, it's going to be different.
Thank you for your comments, Cheryl.
For everybody. I just think though, you got to find this. When I say you got to find this, whatever I'm experiencing right now, that I want to go after this goal of proving everybody wrong when it comes to this particular piece and getting a healthy body. I mean, that's secondary. I just really want to. What I'm going to need to do for any of that, whatever comes up, I'm going to need this engine. I'm going to need this engine as I look up and there's mountains in front of me or these rocks in front of me. And I keep going back to this trail. It's called the Chimney Trail.
Yeah.
And if anybody's ever climbed it, and if you haven't, I'd suggest you do it. It's only a 2-mile trail, but you don't know when it's going to end. It's in the middle of the forest, most of it, and at the end, I mean, when you're done, when you think that you're done, you have to go up 700 feet of rock climbing. And if you've never rock climbed before, it's an experience. Okay, and it always rains in the afternoon by 2:00, so you can get caught up there on the slippery rocks, which is awesome. Because there's a lot of danger there too if you're into that kind of thing. If you're into that kind of thing.
Right.
But having something with you in your cookie jar to grab onto, to use when you decided that you really want something more than it's something that you want. You can taste it.
Right.
Okay. And whatever that is for you. Part of the things that we have done is in the law firm, in the transformation of the law firm, is become the voice for people that have lost it. We've even gone back and we're revamping our website right now. And I said in this narrative that we're working on. We take cases selectively, and they're by invitation only. Mm-hmm. And those cases that we're selecting doesn't mean that we're selecting the multi-million-dollar case. Anytime that I'm enrolled in an injustice and I can see it, feel it, and taste it, and there's nobody else that could possibly step in, that's where we see ourselves. And
absolutely giving support to people who have lost their way and have been taken advantage of, or been bullied, or tried to be reasonable time and time again with people who are just generally unreasonable and need a really heavy hand. Well, we're your guy.
Right. That feeling, though, of righting a wrong, of giving a voice back to somebody, is also something that drives me just as much, maybe not as much, of what I just said about the whole thing with my liver. But that's something that drives me, at least when I wake up. That's why I want to come to work. I mean, that's really why I would go the extra mile.
Yeah, sure.
That, whatever that is, that want, that desire of particular thing, mm-hmm. is one of the ways that you can create the inspiration and the drive to move forward. I don't think it's necessarily sustainable. There's got to be a multitude. You asked me, like in the beginning of the show, like, what drives me forward? It's not just one particular thing. Sometimes it's just like I feel really good and I want to do something. And sometimes I don't feel good. But this whatever this is, talking to myself, who you are, you're a bad guy, you're tough, you got this. You remember when you did this? All of those things that you have in your individual mind that can wake you up, push you forward, give you that next step, that edge. Using all this stuff is what momentum mindset's all about, is having the mindset that no matter what comes up, I'm going to break through. No matter what comes up, I'm going to see possibility. No matter what comes up, I can put that next foot forward.
Absolutely.
And finding this, because I don't know, I mean, I've had it. I don't think I've ever lost it, but finding something like this was the universe saying, hey, I know exactly how to push your button, because I know you really want what you want.
Right.
But it hurt. It hurt to hear yesterday.
Yeah, I can imagine it did. And I think that part of the momentum mindset is also hearing something that hurts, hearing something that coulda, shoulda, woulda taken down most people, and then deciding to take that very information and say, not today. I'm going to forge my own way, and really just really hitting it hard and keep on going.
So
because that's really that's the pinnacle. So for me, like, what keeps me going is that, listen, you cannot be an entrepreneur. I went to this thing called Epic Talks in Miami on Wednesday, which was really fantastic.
What is it called?
Epic Talks.
Okay.
And they had the keynote speaker is a gentleman named Alex Quinn. And he said that you've got to, when you're an entrepreneur, you've got to really guard your mind, your mindset. Surround yourself with the right people, read the right things, get a mentor, create that environment that's constantly nourishing you, because, and he used a superlative, which I will not on the air, but he said, the complexity of business will come for you. The overdrafts may come for you. The people who don't pay you will come for you. Your staff going awry will come for you. Like, all of the complications that you could, should, would have, technology will fail you. All kinds of different things will come around. And if you are not sharp and you let yourself be defeated by all of the things that do go wrong and don't have the vision to get beyond that. And what he means also is it's vision, it's strength, it's really clarity of purpose. And so
we go through our ebbs and flows. We've had really amazing times. We've had really, really, really bad times. We're going through a pretty dark time right now as well. I think the difference, however, for me, is that even though I feel it, I know that there's another side to it. I know that I can get through the other side. The vision is super, super clear. I do my work. I really do my work. I shared with you guys last week that what you do in the gym is what I do mentally and spiritually and emotionally. Like, I really take care, because all our circumstances coulda, woulda, shoulda crushed any other person. And sometimes, you know, and I will share with you, because we're real, like sometimes it's so intense that Jay and I can't even speak to each other and it gets a little hairy. But at the end of the day, I know what I need to do. And I have the confidence and the faith that that divine inspiration or that idea or whatever it is, even if it's messy, it'll come to me and we'll pull it out and we'll somehow, some way. And that is something that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. I did not know that 2 years ago. It is this journey that and this opportunity that has really taught me that. And so even when I get into bed at night and I'm like, really? That was my day. At the end of the day, I'm grateful for, I force myself to go back throughout the day and say, but wait, I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for that. This morning I woke up a little funky and I was like, not today. You need to be on all cylinders. What is it going to take? And I started to recall everything that I appreciate in my life. Because no matter what, there's so much. So as you can see, you know, Jay and I are the yin and the yang. I do get angry. I do sometimes use my anger as fuel. But each of us are our own world, and we bring to the table something different. And I learn from you. Maybe you learn from me. I don't know. But we are always constantly bringing something different and unique to the table that is very much our own flavor. And so when you're in business for yourself, or you have a big job, or you have a lot of responsibilities, or you're a stay-at-home mom and things are overwhelming and they're seemingly insurmountable, dig inside, because look back inside and remind yourself of all of the incredible amount of jewels. Sometimes it's going to be that cookie jar of anger, like, yeah, I did that, and I can remind.
That's not so much anger, though. What the I did that
hold on,
is more of a celebration. And
right.
I didn't want to lose that piece.
Yeah, but for some people, it is going to be anger. The anger is going to fire them up. So what my point, though, is whatever it is for you on any given day, reach to your toolbox. Know that you have one, and go in there, dig deep every day, and get on the other side of it. Because the happiness, the joy, the rewards, they're all there. You just are learning on your way. And that's really it. Like for me, I just keep reminding myself, like, this isn't it. This isn't all there is. Don't worry about it. Keep going, keep going, keep going. So.
Yeah, I was listening to you, and the thing that you read also when we were on break about, you know, you know, there's a lot of this work that requires me to notice that all this stuff is just an interpretation. As feisty as I was in the beginning, I get to take a step back and say, that's all based on the way that I'm interpreting, you know, being victimized or being made fun of. Or it's only my interpretation that people are saying whatever to me. It's only my interpretation. That said, I still have something inside that I feel like in my gut about what my truth is. And that feeling, that real gut feeling, because I know when I want to stay comfortable and I shouldn't be staying comfortable. I know when I'm chickening out. Yeah. I know what's going to grow me, and I know. There's no BS in my gut. I know when, you know, what the right thing to do is. Mm-hmm. I know when, you know, I'm about to get testy or or if I'm pushing someone's buttons, I mean, I know. And then there's that feeling on the other side that says, oh, that's going to feel really good if you do it, though. You know, and it's passing that up. Like somebody offered me a cookie today, and I passed it up because that's not going to get me to where I want to go.
Right.
You know, that half a cookie right now is not part of my game plan.
Right.
And now knowing what some of my goals are, and knowing that I have the toolbox, which is, I think, part of the program that we're designing, is to help people find those tools.
Right.
To get you to the place where you're fired up. It's like when you go to the beginning of a football game and everybody's charged up and everybody's on fire and there's adrenaline flowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to get you through to basically walk through that big piece of paper. You know, you're crashing through the piece of paper saying, go team, or go, you know. And it'll get you on the sidelines and jump up and down. But then the game settles in, and then it becomes, you know, what comes up, and play after play.
And training and, you know, calling on strategy and calling on. And then when all of those things aren't going right, you got to dig deep into like your heart, whatever it is for you.
It's also digging deep into your mindset and saying that my circumstances are not real. You know, my circumstances are this, and to give yourself the ability to take that step back, to give you the bird's eye view. And the best way to do that, yes, knowing that that's available to you, but creating the team around you to say, you know, this is what doing. The mastermind. And this is more than most things that have been coming up in my space, is the concept of mastermind. Having a few people together, bouncing ideas off each other, and coming up with a strategy and a plan, and then executing.
Right.
There's it's actually biblical. Some of the thing about the mastermind, like when two people are gathered and then
the power of two or more people in prayer. Actually, that's where it comes from. And in the Jewish religion, they have the men pray. It's called a minyan. It's 10 men gather and they do very special prayers. So there is a big power in that, and that's why you say, you know, we are stronger together, and certainly we are. So.
No, I saw like there was a Facebook thing that came in and it was like talk about
awesome.
The assistance with being a human being. And listen, one of the great things that you fall back on after doing this for as long as we have is I know whatever I'm feeling right now will pass in a second and give me that chance to just kind of clear my head a little bit to focus on what the next step is going to be. You know, I didn't realize that probably for some time I knew that yesterday was coming. I know for some time I knew that I was going to have the, I think, matter of fact, I did tell you about it. I was looking forward to the endoscopy, you know, for some time. And I don't know why I knew that was going to be like a day of finding out the report card, you know, of what was going on. Because I had heard, you know, over the course of 3 years, you know, every 6 months, you're doing great, you're doing better than great. Oh my God, you're doing exceptional. As a matter of fact, even a few weeks ago, I was talking about the test results that I just got from going to the doctor. He shared with me that I was like 1 in, 10,000, 1 in a million that actually has this kind of recovery.
And by the way, Jay, all of those things are true. They're all true. So it's, again, your interpretation and then what you're going to do about it, you know, what you want to create out of that. Because ultimately, no matter what, you are the creator, period. You're the one who says. So we have a comment here that says, something that I read recently helped me see what it means to be a human being, to become a boundless and dynamic creator, responder, observer, and navigator. Thank you, Jim Davis. That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that.
Like,
and that's really what
about.
It is, indeed.
I'm the creator. I mean, I said this to you, and maybe in the context, I mean, I've gotten in trouble for it, saying that I have a deity in me, you know, like a bit of God in me, or God.
Yeah.
Because as the creator, you know, not saying of
the thing is, though, we all do.
Right.
So it's not exclusive to you.
It's not exclusive to me. So basically, you say it.
That's my thing with you.
But when I say I am, you know, I am creating. I am part of the creative intelligence of the universe.
Absolutely.
You know, filtering through what I'm up to, and you know, and on that basis, anything's possible.
Agreed.
So, it's like this has been a year almost since we've been doing this show.
Yeah.
And
Coming
it's
up
going
in
to be
December,
it's
it'll
going to
be a
be
year.
great one day to go back through all of these tapes, and see the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows.
Yeah, and the progress.
And the progress. There's a thought that I'm having as we're speaking about, you get to this, like you go to, I don't know, the gym one day and you go and you do 50 push-ups. The next day do 53. The next day do 57. The next day, the next day, the next day. You build your endurance, you build things. I mean, my body can do things today that I couldn't do 3 years ago.
You wouldn't dream of the things 3 years
but
ago.
But also, I recognize that I'm not as flexible because I haven't been doing the yoga. Now, doing those things right now, cleaning the slate. I guess this is one of my big problems, if there is such a thing. One of my big problems is I get so down about what it looks like. Like it feels like I'm starting over when I looked up that mountain yesterday. And I felt like, man, everything that I did, everything I told myself was for this day. Because I remember him telling me 2 years ago I'd have another endoscopy in 2 years for the checkup. And I said, by that time, he's going to tell me that everything was gone, everything was clear, and everything was done. And that's why it was like such a big deal for me to get some news to say, no. As a matter of fact, you're like starting from square one. And that's what I heard.
Well, I was going to say, that is your interpretation of what you heard. Fair? Because ultimately, you have a full functioning organ. And that is the miracle in it. What if that's not good enough for you and you want to supersede that, that's cool. But that's
nowhere near good enough for me.
Right. So that's cool. But that's a fact. That's what they told you. And also with the thing. So like that it's not good enough for you, that's yours.
Right.
That belongs to you.
Right. And some of you might, in Radioland, might be like, oh, you're so ungrateful. Okay. And that's your interpretation too. I don't have a conversation about it because because whatever this is getting me out of bed at 4:00 in the morning, and it's setting me on a direction to go after, make sure I could do something about it, and that's for me. That's okay.
Well, it sounds like you're not willing to settle for what you were told yesterday.
I'm not willing to settle and say that that's okay and sing
That's
kumbaya
amazing.
with the universe. I gotta tell you, like I got a thing with the universe. I've shared about this.
All right. Well, this is, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've told you before, and I'm not afraid because we speak very openly here. Like, I think that is the most narcissistic thing on the planet, that you think that the universe is conspiring against you when actually it's totally the opposite.
It's not a conspire.
Or that it's like testing you or trying to make you angry on purpose. I don't know.
No. The universe is like a wild horse.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'm trying to get on top and tame that horse. Okay? And it's not cooperating.
Well,
see what I'm saying? It's
but
like,
what if you became, instead of taming it that way, maybe if you were like the horse whisperer with the universe, and we know a thing or two about that, and people we have studied who become horse whisperers with the universe, guess what? They're holding hands and everything is going really peachy keen for them because they've made friends with the universe instead of thinking that it's against them. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I didn't say against. I'm just saying it needs to just take it easy.
Okay. It'll take it easy when you take it easy. I don't know. I'm just going out there on a limb.
Okay, so there's some changes coming up here at the show. I just want to prepare some people for that because we are moving our time slot.
Yes. So the show starting in December is going to be on Friday nights from 6 to 7 p.m. So when you're on your way from work to home, or when you're going to and fro doing some errands, hit us up. Turn us on. 6 to 7 p.m. moving forward on Fridays.
Yeah, for those of you heading for the gym for some weights for dates, that's a perfect time because you know who you are. When I used to work out like twice a day, there was these guys that were in the gym that had all these clever sayings. And one of the guys were saying that if you're there on a Friday night at 8 p.m., it's called weights for dates. Because I guess it's because you're trying to look more muscular as you go out for the night. I don't know.
Listen,
I guess, but
it's a thing.
Anyway, so it's 6 or 7 hours. It's going to be a shift.
Yes.
And as we're shifting, we're looking forward to that. And we saw some studio space today. and where we're looking to do the show with our producers, and we're very excited about that.
Yes.
And we are also looking for sponsors. And I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, we're going to start advertising on our show, which is really exciting. And
for the last year, we've been asked about it, but we really
weren't proactive about it. But I turned that little gas on today, and have someone who's interested, and going to go after that too, because we want to partner with people who believe in the show and who also we believe in, who are offering products or services that are beneficial to listeners and to people, and sort of to, as a vehicle, also to educate people on what's out there. What might they be missing that we could add to their life, and they just didn't know?
I mean, we have 5 weeks left. 5 weeks left in this decade. And if you say it like that, there's some major things coming up for me in 2020, and I'm looking at the next 10 years to be like, they're going to write books about this, okay? One way or the other, it could be, like, I don't know. I'm not going to ruin the surprise. You're going to have to live it with us, okay, for the next 10 years. But it's the opportunity right now to really, you're about to go into the roaring 20s. I remember growing up hearing about the roaring 20s, and I had this concept that everybody was on fire. Everybody was dancing that really cool 20s dance.
Yeah.
And now we have a chance to recreate the 20s and create it in your mindset. These are going to be the roaring 20s. The next, for our generation.
I totally agree with that.
And for us to be able to create, we want to help, create what you want. And we're looking for sponsors to come on the show to celebrate transformation, celebrate the momentum mindset, celebrate the mindset that keeps you going as the entrepreneur. And we want to hear from you. We want to partner up with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And again, it's all in the vein of service. The more people who know what you're up to and what you'd like to provide, the better. I mean, this is really just spreading good vibes and good information and good services. So, yeah, definitely. So with that, we're actually going to take a short break.
We're going to take one of our breaks so you can see what that kind of looks like.
Exactly. See you soon. See you
Tune
after
into
the break.
Aging Healthy with Farrow Law Firm, standing up to corporate bullies, using innovative, aggressive, and effective strategies to resolve disputes effectively and timely. Contact us at 954-252-9818, online at farrowlawfirm.com, and on Facebook at Farrow Law Firm. We look forward to being of service to you.
You've been listening to the Momentum Mindset Show
with Jay and Janine. Give us a call at 888-565-1470. And now back to the show.
Welcome back to the Momentum Mindset Show. And I'm going to be out of here like on the dot. I'm actually going down to see Mark Anthony tonight.
Oh, nice.
And doing,
nice.
And
That
doing,
should be fun.
And doing some salsa dancing and the like.
Very
but
fun.
I'm really looking forward though to creating a list of things that I'm really going after in this next decade. Not saying it's a 10-year plan, but like things that I would like to see that I do and accomplish.
Yeah. So a call to action too to people. What is coming up for you? We'd love to hear for anyone listening out there. What would you like to see develop in your own life in the next decade? I'd love to see how we can talk about this on the show. And the number again is 888-565-1470 if you want to join in and call us and let us know what you're up to and what you're thinking that you want for your life in the next, as we approach the new decade, 2020. It has a beautiful ring to it. I love it.
Yeah, it does. It does. I was thinking about something you said also about like the networking event that you went to on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And you said that it's something that we should talk about as far as our intro events that should be coming up in the beginning of next year. And I've been thinking about that as well because we have a lot of ideas, a lot of content, a lot of material, and I think next week we're supposed to be meeting with our coach as well.
Yes.
And we're with all the stops and starts and stops and starts and stops and starts, it's important to just a presence. That
Presence is huge.
presence, that feeling, though. Because when I'm talking about this, when I talked about what I was talking about earlier, I mean, I know that I'm sharing something that might land for somebody that might say, "Oh, is that how you do it? Is that how you get off your butt?" Yeah, and you know what? I like sharing. It doesn't have to be pretty. Whatever it takes to get you off your butt.
It doesn't have to be tidy.
I mean, some people, and there was a guy that we went to this one, there was like a lawyer seminar, and he's like, who here wants to make a bunch of money? And then he's like, why? And someone said, because I want to give some money to save some kids, like half the way around the globe.
Right.
And he had this flag, like a referee flag. He called it the BS flag, and he threw the flag, onto the ground. He's like, "I'm calling BS," and he's like, "You don't want to go and say." He's like, "You want a pool that your kids can swim in, that you can have a barbecue around."
Yeah.
And he's like, "You don't have to be Mother Teresa with don't feel bad about the fact that you feel like you're selfish asking for yourself, because it's okay to ask for yourself."
Right.
And so when I started at the beginning of the show, it might sound completely ridiculous that a 44-year-old man would go against science and everything else and all these books that he wants to have a healthy organ, for his liver. Then you know what?
But Jay, how
That's
else?
what I want.
Okay, fine.
But I'm saying it doesn't have to be pretty.
I get it, but you said something so important. You're one man going against what everybody said was impossible. This is huge. I don't know if it's possible or not, but I think it's amazing that you do and that you would work towards that. Why not? Because it's men and women who go against what everybody said is impossible, which is why we have this.
Right.
I'm holding up a cell phone, people, a smartphone, which is basically a computer in your hand. It's why we have anything that is unbelievably great. It's why we have incredible architecture. It's why we have toilets, for crying out loud. I mean, it's why one doctor, 100 million years ago, I don't even know when, it wasn't 100 million years ago, he started to say to people, well, why are women dying during childbirth so often? Could it be that if we just washed our hands, that the mortality rate would go down? Everyone told him he was crazy. And now we cannot go into a hospital, even as visitors, without making sure our hands are clean. So this person dared to face the impossible.
Ask a question.
Yeah, ask questions and challenge convention.
Right.
And I think that this is one of the ways that people really shine. People really create out of that space by not just taking what they're spoon-fed.
Right. It isn't what it is. It is what it is, but it's not. You get to decide that. You're right, because someone did say like cell phone, and they bended reality to how they say
100%.
and didn't accept anything less than creating
a
cell
super
phone.
machine
Right.
in your wallet that fits in your purse.
Which is like
it's incredible.
I went on this one museum. It was like on a battle Navy ship. It was a Navy ship, and they had this computer that they had back then, and they were explaining how this thing is 1,000 times more powerful than the nuclear powered submarine from like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Because someone said it's possible, and
Right.
that's the
Someone
the
believed
concept.
it was
Right.
possible in the face of impossibility.
Right. And everybody else has told me about what I just said in the beginning of the show, that it's not possible. You're always going to be scarred. You're always going to be this. And anytime anybody said something like that to me, it just triggers, like, how do you become so narcissistic to say that I am being narcissistic? What I'm saying, I'm not saying that, but how is it that I don't think anybody has enough wisdom to be entitled to be pessimistic, or I don't think anybody has enough wisdom to be entitled to say that's not possible.
Agreed.
Okay,
Completely agreed. We would have no progress if that were the case.
The thing in the Bible's coming up again about like something about throwing a mountain into the sea. If you pray and you fast and you do all kinds of stuff, then if you say it's so, it's going to happen.
Jay, there are miracles that happen constantly.
Right.
Who is to say? Who's to say? Like,
And
I don't
so
believe that. I don't believe in impossible.
Feel bad for feeling like I want more. I don't feel bad for saying, oh my God, I got to this point where I can maintain whatever I have as far as what my health is concerned. No, that is not good enough for me. And
not as good as it gets for you. That's what you're saying.
I will not accept anything less from what I want. And that's just the way that I want to approach everything in my life. Now, I'm going to say this real quick because this is what's interesting. In the years that this has happened to my liver, I've never once picked up a medical journal. I've never once Googled, other than looking for some statistics about how lucky I am to be alive. I've never read a magazine article. I've never read a book about the liver. Okay? In the 3 years I've been doing this, I've never read a journal about nutrition. I've never read a journal about working out. I've just accepted what everybody's told me about. It's like, you do these things and you'll get this result. In my workouts, I've done these things and I've gotten this result. In like this thing, I've done the things that my doctor told me and everything else. And what a surprise. I got the result that said, you do what you want, you can get to this point. Okay? In all my life, even with the law firm, I've done certain things, but I haven't read a book about like how to create this mega firm or become this, lawyer that speaks up. I have not followed people, got a mentor. I haven't enlisted the tools that I know are going to work. So how can I, and this is where the anger is really coming up, because I know I didn't go the extra mile. I know that I buried my head in the sand and just said, well, if I just do things like this and everything's going to turn out all right. That's why I know there's more for me, and ultimately not just in this domain, but in every area of my life. Because if I'm willing to look deeper, study more, put my head down, I'm going to the next level, no matter where it is. But don't tell me it's not possible to get there.
Amen. Who is Kanye preaching? We got ourselves some Jay Farrow here.
Next week, and have a happy Thanksgiving. It's going to be one for us.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you for listening to the Momentum Mindset Show. For your hosts, Jay and Janine, we'll see you here next week. Thank you for being real, authentic, and honest.
If you'd like to reach us, please contact us on our Facebook page, The Momentum Mindset Show, or on our office phone line, which is 954-559-6987.
We are stronger together.
And remember, keep going.